I'm Richard Cartwright, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be discussing this, the 60-degree lob wedge. When should you use it? When shouldn't you use it? Couple of big things today. First things first, never ever attempt to hit a full lob wedge. The problem with hitting a full lob wedge is this. What tends to happen is we manipulate the loft at impact. So a lot of golfers, especially sort of, let's say 15 handicap and above, sorry, 15 handicappers and above, I don't mean to inch you out, but usually what tends to happen is you tend to add loft to the golf club at impact. And the problem is if we're adding loft to an already lofty golf club, that's just going to send the ball up in the air, full shot, no more than 30, 40 yards up in the air. No good to anyone. So don't go out there and hit a full 60 degree. Unless you really practice it, unless you feel ultimately really comfortable with it, don't go out there and hit a full 60 degree. You'll rarely get the distance bang on. Secondly, when to use it. Whenever you're going over a bunker, obviously, or there's not much green to work with, but how do we use it? We've got to make sure, and again, I've got this lie purposely built here because it's a nice, what we call sort of tight, hard pan lie. So there's not much give in the ground. But what we actually need to achieve here is the feeling of that sole of that golf club coming into the ground and for a long time in contact with the ground. So the club just doesn't go dive down into the ground and then pop back straight up. What it does is allow the club to glide and slide through the ball, and that's ultimately what we need to do. So when I say this to a lot of people out there, I say to them, I said, look, you've got to make sure you are actually catching a little bit of ground before the ball. They're really surprised because usually what they say, they try and hit the golf ball and then the ground. But the problem with that is we're not able to collect the ball on the way. We're pressuring the ball on the way, which is not what we're looking for in a shot like this. We're looking to just simply collect the ball on the golf club's way through. And the ball is then reacted to by that loft on that golf club. So especially on a sort of tough lie, especially on a hard pan lie, especially on a smooth lie like this, when the ball sort of maybe tends to sit down, or even in a divot, for example, you've got to make sure that the club, the sole of the golf club, is in contact with the ground for roughly, let's say about a foot and a half or so. We don't just want the club to dig into the golf ball, into the ground. We want to make sure we're sliding and gliding that club through the surface. And that means allowing the wrists to do a little bit of work. Again, I'm not saying to you, really flick those wrists, like again, I see a lot of people do. I'm not saying to you, really flick the wrist, but definitely don't try and keep those wrists absolutely stiff. So a lot of golfers out there tend to make it more of a putting stroke. They feel they need to keep the wrists absolutely stiff. No, we've got to make sure the wrists are doing just that little bit of work to make sure that club is in contact with the ground for roughly, again, about 12 to 18 or so inches. And when we do that, we're able to get that lovely, clean, nippy sort of strike again, where the ball is just simply collected with the loft and the face of that golf club. Hope this helps. Again, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button again, comment below. Let me know how you're getting on with your golf, please.